Welcome to this Jane's Weather Update. I am Jane Bunn. If you don't know, I am meteorologist and founder of Jane's Weather. You can also catch me on 7 News Melbourne during the weekdays, 4 and 6 p.m. But let's have a look at what's happening across Australia. And on the map today, lots of rainfall totals in through here as a lovely, handy rain system moves across South Australia and into the western parts of Victoria and southwestern New South Wales there. We've also got a very deep low over the Tasman Sea here. Look at that speckled cloud, the occasional bit of lightning in through there. That is cold air. I'm going to show you what that is doing to everyone in just a sec. Otherwise, we've got another big cloud band coming in from the northwest, not from up here, but more in through these parts here. And it's a bit quiet over the southwest at the moment. Let's take a look. So here is our map today. We've got deep low pressure that is over the Tasman Sea. That is now there and is likely to remain there for the next week. Yes, that's right. It's a very stagnant pattern, so it is staying there for a very long time. Now, this has a cold pool of air over the top, and yes, I have fingerless gloves on in here this morning because it is quite chilly. It's only just reached 10 degrees in Melbourne. So we have got that cold pool that is sitting over the Tasman Sea, and that is, if we have a look here, so we have our winds travel in this direction around a low. This has literally come from near Antarctica and is moving right up in through here and is now crossing all of the eastern states. So we are below average temperatures for an extended period of time for most days through that period. And that is Tasmania, that is Victoria, that is New South Wales, and it is up into Queensland as well. Over on the other side, we do have this cut-off low that is very slowly moving across South Australia and producing that rain in through there. Otherwise, high pressure sitting in the middle, high pressure sitting in here, but there is a trough that is coming into the west and another cold front set to come up. Let's have a look at rainfall over the next week. This one here, the last Tasman low, that was very close to the coast, produced 300 millimetres over southeastern parts of New South Wales. This isn't happening this time because the low is so far offshore. We're seeing a little bit of wet weather, but nothing dangerous like last time. We've got this low that is moving across in through here, delivering some handy rain, and then another one coming in next week. We've got this band coming down through the western states there. Not a lot in the southwest at this stage, but if I was to show you a map that went to days 9 and 10, there's a chance of something happening over southeast Queensland. That is late next week into the weekend, and another one coming through the southwest in through here. So lots of activity happening across these areas, all dry up the top. Let's have a look day by day. Day 1 being Friday. Here's this handy rain that is moving through these parts here. We've got showers just coming right onto that coastal fringe, not really extending any further inland, but the cold air is certainly with it. We've got this coming just in through here about the southern coast of Victoria, but that's pretty much all. Heading into day 2, which is Saturday, this does extend inland a little bit more. It does extend further north, just almost reaching Queensland. Meanwhile, this pool of rain that's moving through here starts to weaken as it goes through Saturday. A bit of activity in the west. Heading into Sunday, this one is still here, only slight activity in through there. This one is right on the coast here and into Gippsland as well, and just coming into that southeastern corner of Tasmania. So a very coastal system as this comes in. Heading into day 4, which is Monday, again coastal, Gippsland, southeastern Tasmania, again still coming in from that northwest there. It's a very stagnant pattern, and we're picking up all that warm moisture from the Indian Ocean and pushing it through. Heading to Tuesday, this starts to move across, and we still have this right on the coast here. Now, it is just offshore, as it is on Monday here as well, and Sunday, mainly the northern coast that sees that. But most of the slightly inland activity is due during the day on Saturday. So heading into the later period here, this one comes across on Tuesday. Excuse me. And then this comes across Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, moving across the southeastern parts of the country. So that's our next big rain system moving in there. And then yet another one to come up into the southwest while this still pushes in. All right, let's have a look. Let's chat temperature. We know we've got that cold pool over the Tasman Sea. The air originated near Antarctica and is being pushed right up in through here. This blue is our colder than average weather. Now, it's not the same in Brisbane as it is in Melbourne. This is how much warmer or cooler than average it is for that particular spot. I'd certainly take Brisbane over what we've got in Melbourne here. So we've got all of that blue across the eastern states here. This is Monday through to Monday the 24th, so 17th to 24th. This is next week. That's how long this cold pool is sticking with us. There is heat over here, but then there is new cold energy to come into the southwest over the weekend that is actually slightly above average. So that's next week, and having a look at the rainfall pattern that goes with it. Nothing across the top, less than average all in through here, which is expected based on the low that is well offshore. We've got this continuing to pour into Western Australia, less in the southwest corner because we don't have as many cold fronts moving through, but able to go across the south and into Victoria here. So that's a nice little pattern for these guys that really missed out on those bigger falls that moved through New South Wales and eastern parts of Victoria earlier on. So it's their turn now. Heading into week 2. So this is Monday the 24th of June through to the start of July. You'll notice that cold pool of air across the east has disappeared. So it's here for a week and a half, but then it should dissipate and move on. Instead, the cold air is moving into the southwest, so I'd expect some big systems to be coming in through there. And then this is all of the warmth that ahead, so the systems are peaking and sliding across the south as they move in. In terms of rainfall, that pretty much looks like what is happening here, not reaching the east coast, all dry across the top, coming into the southwest, and then sliding across the southeast as they move in. So that is that last week of June as we go through that. Let's have a look at the sea surface temperature anomaly. So what is causing all of this weather? We're going to go into that sort of area now and then look in the future as to what the climate drivers are likely to be. Okay, around Australia, incredibly warmer than average Tasman Sea, incredibly warmer than average off the coast of Western Australia. Oh, that's where that moisture is coming from. It is cooler all in through here, but having a look across the Indian Ocean, we did have some blues appearing off the coast of Indonesia there. They have disappeared. That is nice, interesting news for us here. The box that is over in the Indian Ocean, still predominantly yellow, but hey, what are these things in through here? Is that something brewing to change the colour of this? What we have in the Indian Ocean is an Indian Ocean dipole. It can either go into a state where it pushes all the moisture away from Australia. So you'd have all the yellows in this box here offset by cool blues off Indonesia. That's not what we have. We don't have those cool blues here. Or we can have a negative Indian Ocean dipole where it pushes the moisture towards us, where it's all yellow and red in through here, and the box is looking cool blue. Now, we don't have that yet, but is this a sign of something that's coming up through there? Let's have a look at the forecast for the Indian Ocean. This has had a dramatic shift across a lot of the models over the past 2 weeks. Let's take a look. Let's unpack it. First of all, one of the models is going completely against the grain and it is coming down in through here. This is very different to what any model was suggesting in the past 5 to 6 months. Where we've been, we bob around over summer. Then we went into a very short-lived positive Indian Ocean dipole, officially 8 weeks. This was only 7, so it didn't quite make it. Then we came out, we tried to go back in again, it's all very yellow over there, but then we have now come out and it's sitting firmly in neutral. All of these models here were going right up, kind of where the blue line is through here. All of these were heading right up in through here. Now they are not. In fact, most of them aren't even crossing that threshold. This is a big shift in what the modelling is suggesting. So positive Indian Ocean dipole, that's in the brown zone there, maybe not as likely as what it once was. We've got one model that completely hates that now. In fact, it's heading over into a negative Indian Ocean dipole. This is something to keep an eye on. All of these are doing very similar things, not reaching that threshold, remaining in neutral. That would be less of a push away of all of that moisture from the Indian Ocean. But we know anyway that we've got all of this warm water out through here, that even if it did go into a positive IOD, it may not turn that tap off, thanks to a new source of moisture. Okay, let's have a look over on the Pacific Ocean. Here's our box moving along very nicely. It was all yellow when we were in our strong El Nino. That strong El Nino was offset by all of this warm water that was off the coast of Queensland. We had a new source of moisture that wasn't El Nino. We had a new source of moisture in the Tasman Sea because that's incredibly warmer than average too. But here is the remains of that strong El Nino. Now we've got the blue line coming in. It is working away. It is chipping away each week, and all of this is likely to turn blue over the next couple of months. Let's have a look at the where we've been from that. So here's our strong El Nino. We came out of that. We're now sitting in through here. We've got 1, 2, 3 models. They're all suggesting July into August that they would cross that threshold, as in that box out there would finish turning blue. And so that would push more moisture towards Australia from the Pacific Ocean. What else do we have in through here? We've got this yellow model. Now this one was always coming down here and crossing between October and November. See how it now doesn't quite cross that threshold. and it is rebounding. So the fourth model isn't quite going in. That one was always delayed. It is still around the November mark, but not quite crossing that threshold. Very, very close, but not quite. We've got the green model still doing this, and these two that are still sitting firmly in neutral. So that is 3 models that like it, 1 model that comes close. This one comes right all the way in through here, but these guys sit around. Now, these ones, this green line was up here before, so it is still heading downwards. This one wasn't quite crossing that threshold, but now it actually is, and that's around that October period. So 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5 that are heading in there. These guys don't like it. Okay, so that's those. Having a look at SAM, which is our Southern Annular Mode, that one tells us what our pressure pattern is more likely to look like. Are they troughs and cut-off lows, or are they strong cold fronts? We had big cold outbreaks that came in through here, mainly hit the southwest, went all the way up here, had that Tasman Sea low. Now we've got another one that's coming in. This is suggesting a bit of a dip and then a rise, so it's not a clear-cut thing in terms of the pressure pattern. And excuse your eyes for just a second. Let's go back up to this one. We've got strong cold fronts, we've got cut-off lows, we've got troughs, so it's kind of throwing everything at us. Now that the SAM does not tell us if high pressure is going to get in the way. That one, no one can tell us that. It's whether, if we have a look at that positive IOD, this is something that I should definitely be mentioning. If we do end up down here, then we are less likely to get blocking high pressure systems sitting over the southeast. That so far has been the thing that has limited the rainfall, particularly in South Australia, western parts of Victoria, a fair bit of Tasmania, and the western parts of New South Wales. Now, if we don't have that blocking high sitting over the southeast, then we are perhaps more likely to get those wet weather systems move through. And if we're heading in down here, they'll be moisture laden. So if this is where we're heading, this is good news. All right, let's have a look at the forecast now. I have had quite a morning here at Jane's Weather. We are a startup, we are small, we are agile, but we did have some systems go down this morning when the latest GFS, which is the USA model, when that one came in. So we've spent the last 2 hours fixing that. I've had all hands on deck, and it has been quite a stressful morning, which is why this is so late. And now we've got still more people trying to figure that out, which is what those ... noises are. All right, so here we have Sydney. It is now back up and running. If it is not running, do please let me know. Just send me an email or whatever, but we do have checks to make sure that everything is happening, so I'm probably aware of it. All right, in Sydney, here we have the rain today. I've expanded this out so we can see all the different weather models, all the different pastel colours here. Now, the yellow one, which is Australia, really likes the rainfall coming right into Sydney City, not just on the coastal areas. That's up on 22 millimetres. But one of the models isn't as keen. That's only on 2 millimetres. So the average across them today is 9. So that's what we're heading for into here. Have a look at these temperatures. In Sydney, the average at this time of year is 17, and this is only 15 as the top. Last time I checked, it was sitting on at 13.5. Lovely, lovely day in Sydney. When is this going to end? Tomorrow, another cold day, maybe even just 14. Rain, 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 rain. So this is right on that coastal fringe, but extending further inland. We saw it on the map there too. It eases in the early hours of Sunday morning, and we go back to slightly normal dry programming. Temperatures can rise, but not as far as you would expect them to be at this time of year, thanks to that cold pool that is sitting over the Tasman Sea. Okay, so that's what we have for Sydney, heading into Swan Hill. There was rainfall moving through there this morning. Just having a look at my other screen here. In the Wimmera, we picked up 10 to 15 millimetres, and in Swan Hill, here's what is left. 9 degrees as the top. It is a gloomy, miserable, wet day in through there, and it is cold. This is suggesting that the rain is going to continue until after dark tonight, and then after that, there is just a tiny little bit left. It may not be completely dry. We'll still have a lot of cloud, but it won't add up in the rain gauge after we move through this evening. Now, that's got 4 to 5 millimetres. Ooh, we like when we see all of the different weather models saying very similar outcomes, because that means all of them are saying pretty much the same thing. So we've got higher confidence in what this rainfall is likely to do, and 4 to 5 millimetres for the rest of the day. All right, we're going to head back into dry conditions, but then Wednesday, Thursday next week, I'll just jump through to Wednesday. Here's when that next system comes through. So it moves through the southwest, begins in Victoria in the southeast during the day on Wednesday, and takes us through for the rest of the week, with another cold outbreak. Now, you may be wondering what's happening up in the snow area here. So if you head to Jane's Update and click on snow, this is here. I'm now doing my daily commentary. So this is every evening, just as those weather models come out. So that I update that once a day and walk you through what's happening there. But head down into the ranges here, 7 to 70. 4 to 57, heading into here, 9 to 66, 8 to 66. It is a huge range in terms of how much snow is likely across all of the different models. This is in the later period, which is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week is when we're expecting those. Now, if you head down into advanced snow forecast, you can get some more details. So I'll just click on that one there. Oh, come on, it loaded just before. Yep, we are out again. Anyway, sorry about this. Let's try and get this sorted for you. But what this does is show each individual model so you can see day by day as to what is likely to be there. I'm going to sign off now, work out what the team is doing, and hopefully get this enough resources and the problem fixed so that we can move forward and give you some good forecast. I'll see you next week. Bye.